Welcome back to Just 2 Minutes, Just 2 Mishnayos. This Mishnayos and Linishmas for Edel Basrachon, the Schos about Yitzchak ben Gila, and the first Basuva. So Mesachas Bava basra Parak Gimel Mishnah Zayin and Mishnah Chas. Lo yiftach adam chal noisav l'chatzar shutafin. If someone has a garden or courtyard and he shares it, he's a partner of it with someone, so he can't have his windows in his house facing out onto his friend's half of the courtyard. If someone bought a house and in a courtyard, and then he bought a house and another house on the other side of his house, which is in a different courtyard, so he can't, and he's renting that house out, so he can't make like a pathway between them, so that the people who are staying in his other house can get into this courtyard, because it's not fair on the people living in the courtyard that other random people are going to be walking through that courtyard, who don't own a house there. So if he wants, he can build. He can split his house in half, basically papa mechitza. So then it goes out into the street. And he can build another floor on top of his house, which means actually he can't actually build another floor on top of his house, but he can kind of slice it in half and build another floor. Meaning he just builds another floor inside of his house, so he's just going to have less space now, basically. And then he can just open that out into his house as long as the people don't use this courtyard. If you can't make a window or a door opposite your friend's window or door in a courtyard. If there's already a window there and it was small, so you can't make it big. If there was one, you can't make two. But if you have a house opposite your friend's house and there's a public property between, so then it's okay if you have a door facing a door or a window facing a window, because he's already used to having people, like trying to look into his house basically from, the public who are walking past. So it's okay if you can technically also look in, because he's used to it, like he'll have curtains or something like that. And if the window's small, he can make it big, and if there's one, he can add on another one and make two. Mishnah Chas, you can't make like a pit which then goes underneath, or a tunnel basically under public property. Any of these three different types of caves basically you can't make under public property. Rabbi Lezer says that you can make one going under public property as long as it's strong enough that if a carriage full of rocks goes over it, it won't collapse. You can't take out zizim, which are like little. It's basically, if you have a wall, so you can't have zizim, which are like small beams poking out, which they would kind of use which they would use like as a porch, or gzustrais, which are bigger beams poking out. So you can't have any of these things poking out of your wall into public property. But what you can do, so what you can do is you build the wall further into your property line and then have these beams sticking out, so that these beams only stick out into your property. So then even if someone falls against it, or gets hit by them, so it's not it's not his problem, because at the end of the day it ends in his property line. But if you bought a courtyard and it has these beams poking out already into public property, so then it's fine, because it's considered the chazaka, meaning it's already been like that, and the guy didn't have to take it down, so we assume that it's there, right there, it's rightfully there, and those are his mishnayos.